the last real big thing to do with the DOM, apart from all those interface widgets. And honestly, you could get into manipulating HTML elements really easily as well. For those of you that with a background in CSS, that might be interesting to you if you want to like embed this inside of a web page. Little outside of the scope of what I want to talk about, though. I'd rather talk about video. So you can get video to play back inside of your browser, and it's something that's handled natively by HTML5. So what I want to do is I've got a video here that I've recorded that I want to keep and I want to play back in a sketch, right? All I'm going to do is play this back inside of a sketch. So I've got a sketch here, and I've uploaded a version of it to the P5 editor, online editor. And then also got this other version here. It's called WebM. It's a different kind of video format. Neither of these files are particularly large. It's just a few megs. Each is just a few megs. I've got both of these because different browsers support different video playback types. I'll do another example on how to make this work. But for the most part, if you're doing something with like an MP4 file, you'll probably be fine in Chrome or Firefox. WebM is, sorry, you'll be fine in like Chrome or Safari. WebM is really more for Firefox. I think that more browsers are just generally supporting MP4 playback, but it's sort of a better safe than sorry thing. Experiment it. Let's see what happens. The sketch itself is fairly straightforward. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking the video file and I'm going to write it each frame as an individual image onto the canvas. There's a little bit of a funny gotcha here, but I will walk you through it. It's all pretty straightforward. I've got a variable here to hold the video object. I've got a preload function right here. And what I'm doing is you can see right here, it's as it says, specify multiple formats for different browsers. So I'm saying video equals, and then I call create video. So this is like create image when we've done that before, or load image, right? Create video is a slightly different beast. It creates a container that holds the video. And you'll see that I've got both different kinds of files inside of here, and it's populating inside of an array. Now, if you only had one version of this, that, like I said, probably going to be fine, and you do that like this, right? But I'm going to leave both in there just for compatibility's sake, in case some of you are using a browser that this wouldn't show up for. So have this inside of preload. And then inside of the setup, I create canvas. I'm doing this at the dimensions of the video. You can make it arbitrary. You can do it really however you want. We can take a look at that in a second. And then what happens when you play back a video, or when you load a video, by default, it doesn't load into your canvas. So it doesn't actually load into here. What it does is it creates a new HTML element that appears adjacent to your canvas. And so you would see like multiple versions of your video playing, and one of them you wouldn't be able to control with P5.js because it would just be playing in your browser, and then the other one you could control. So what I suggest, I strongly suggest doing this, is having this right here, and it seems counterintuitive to say like hide the video, but really what you're doing when you say video.hide, what you're doing is you're hiding the HTML version of it. You aren't hiding the version that's going to wind up on your canvas that you can do fun stuff with. You're hiding the version that just appears inside of your browser. And we'll take a look at this in just a moment, like what that actually means. So, and then here we play and loop the video by saying like video.loop. So it's just going to go on forever and ever. You can control this. You can start it. You can stop it. You can scrub through it on a timeline. But I'm just going to loop it constantly right now. And then in the draw, all I'm doing is I'm writing the background, and then I say image video 00. And so what this does is every time a new frame loads in the background from the video, it then gets written out as a new image. So that so the effect of when I run this sketch is that it just plays in the background once it's all loaded up, right? So if I didn't have this video hide, if I'd commented this out or not written it in here, what we would see instead are two versions of this stacked one on top of one another. And this top one is the HTML version, and this bottom one is the one inside of my sketch. I know this to be true because I could do something like this where I say mouse X. Actually, I do this. So I'm going to say 0, 0, mouse X, mouse Y. So now when I run this inside of my canvas, the video is going to scale with my mouse, right? So I can run this. Now we can say, oh. So the bottom one here is the one that's actually on my canvas, right? The one that I can control and manipulate based off of the mouse position. This top one I can't do anything with because that's part of the HTML on the page. So if I comment that out, or if I uncomment that, and I leave the video hide in there, then I've got something inside of here that I can start to play around with and manipulate. And if you want to do like, you know, funny things, you can like comment out the background, and then you can get this sort of like weird scaling effect, right? So yeah, that's the, there we go. That's great. So that's the basics of playing a video back inside of your browser. In subsequent videos, and I'm going to start a new playlist for this, I'm going to talk about different ways in which you can manipulate the video inside of the browser. So you can do like camera tracking, you know, like color tracking or image tracking. You can do all sorts of like really fun, groovy stuff with images. So that'll be a totally separate playlist, but I did want to put this inside of this playlist because it really, the video is part of the DOM, and it just sort of fits here logically. So, you know, I'll pick up with another video series explicitly about video, and then I'm going to do a different one that's just about audio too. And at that point in time, we'll be talking about getting into libraries and fun stuff like that.